Gorilla mode. Followed Pickett's career at Pitt. Didn't have the crazy numbers early, but he'd make some throws and plays that make you say, wow. Stats won't tell the full story this season on his impact on the stretch run success. I think he hits the nail on the head. Because
I would agree, man.
even before his Heisman-type senior season, where he threw for 40-plus touchdowns, whenever you watch his games, you could just tell dude was a baller. He didn't have the craziest of stats at times, but he just tried his, like, I can't say tried his hardest to win. Like, he was the leader of that team. He was clearly the best quarterback on the team because anytime he would get hurt early on,
it would be a drop-off.
Oh, it'd be a huge drop-off. Then whenever he came in, like, could still keep Pitt afloat. Like, we still had some decent records during those Pickett early years of, like, 8 wins or whatever, whatnot. But then, his senior year, he really broke out. And I feel like if he's making this comparison, I'm with him. Like, I don't even care what the stats say about Pickett this year. I felt like he played really, really damn good. Got better and better as the season went on. And then I think it hit its peak at this game. Even though the stats aren't going to tell that, I feel like that was his best game.
You know how I feel. I'm a context over stats guy. Stats can tell you a part of the story, but it doesn't tell you the whole story. In fact, stats can be very misleading at times or even lie to you flat out. But the context is the part that you don't lose sight of. And we get that context here when we watch these games, when we're intimately following this team. And then when we go back and rewatch some of the tapes and stuff like that, we learn a lot more about why it is what it is versus just simply reading off the numbers and trying to make a hard line stance on that, because numbers will lie to you. And that's just the reality of it. There's plenty of quarterbacks that might have had better statistical numbers or even better statistical outputs in a per game standpoint than Kenny. But if we actually chop it up and say, hey, quarterback for quarterback, drive for drive, scenario for scenario, who do we like better? I feel like we would be leaning more towards Kenny in those scenarios because of those things that we've talked about, because of the intangibles, the growth, the anticipatory throws, and just not making the same mistake twice. Learning. On
winning,
the fly.
Just trying to win.
You know what I mean?
Focus on winning.
Not allowing the moment to be too big. These are all things that matter in a major way. And I personally feel really confident about Kenny going forward because of the things that he showed. And that's the beauty of how both of us operate. You do it on the front end, and we know that at times it can have you, kind of be crazy. But when it hits, it hits. And it's like, yo, this is why you feel as confident as you do. But then on the same side, I look at my perspective, and it's like when we talk about allowing it to develop, allowing it to mature and nurture and actually show it, that's when I could get on board with it. And I felt like we definitely saw that as well. So, like I said, I'm with you, man. I think that he's definitely the guy that we need for right now. I mean, until I see something different. And like I said, unless he drastically shifts, which I don't anticipate happening, I don't see why you even have to look at that and say, hey, man, we don't have a quarterback that can compete. We don't have a quarterback that can get it done. Because I think he's shown us multiple times now, especially down the stretch, that he does have all of those things. Now it's just about experience, repetition, getting more opportunities. And that's how you start to build this thing out. And that's when you talk about, especially 7. Like, 7 became 7 because of what he was doing. What he showed you in the first year. Then he showed it he could do it in year 2, in year 3. Then you saw him doing it in year 7. You're like, dang, he's still doing these things. Now it's year 10. Now you're like, bro, okay, we got this. Like, it's shown full body work. And then it's like, yo, he's operating on a whole nother level after that. It's just like, yo, this is a machine, so to speak. But you don't start out as that machine. You got to develop into that. And it doesn't happen in 1 year. It doesn't happen overnight. But when you see that steady progression, the way that we're seeing with Kenny, that is what you need at this level. And not everybody has that, man. And that has been shown countless times, whether you're talking first-round quarterbacks or undrafted quarterbacks. They might flash and do it once. Might even do it 2 times. But the consistency part is the big difference, and that's what we have seen from Kenny throughout the season, man, and even dating back to what he was doing in college. And that's why when people made it such a negative, oh, man, he stayed for so long, he's supposed to be dominant. Well, hey, I'm glad that he was. I'm glad that he was dominant, because that showed that he could do what? Develop. That showed that he could do what? Mature. That showed that he could do what? Continue to improve. And that's all you're looking for, because at this level, nothing stays the same. You're either getting better or you are getting worse. It is that simple at the NFL level. So for me, I'd rather have a guy that continues to get 1% better each day than the guy that is losing 1% each day. And that's just how we roll, baby.
And just in terms of his ceiling, I think there were throws being made yesterday.
I would
and
agree.
it goes back to everything I said after the Raiders game. I'm like, I just do not want to hear questions about arm strength or arm talent again.
Yep.
Because, dude, how he was slinging that rock
I would
yesterday
agree.
was just like how any of these other dudes where the NFL social media accounts or any of these, other NFL accounts out there that cover the NFL, they'll be on Twitter salivating over some of these dudes' throws. He was making those type of throws yesterday.
I would agree, bro.
Not only just ones on the run and stuff, middle of the field, but he was also slinging. He was slinging the deep ball too. Now he was just missing on them, but again, these were like really nice passes, just to show he can do it. So like, I just don't want to hear those questions anymore because the talent's there. And then if you want to talk about all the intangibles, we've been seeing that as the second half of the season's been going on too.
I would definitely agree.
2 clutch game-winning drives, dude. Even in this one, we had a final drive where the Browns got it within 1 score. Now it didn't happen to be where it was 2 minutes left,
but it was still with.
It was like eight minutes left. It's like, dude, you got to do something.
And they had momentum too. Let's be real.
Yeah,
they definitely having some momentum going, bro.
And we delivered. Pickett delivered again.
Yep. All right, so a couple real quick. I think I'm seeing a 50 up here, but I don't.
Yeah, I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay,
it's somewhere here. Hold
on. I was going to say, I saw that pop up, but I also want to. We had a new upper room member. I want to shout him out real quick. Money, welcome to the upper room. Yes, indeed, and welcome to the family. I didn't know if you wanted me to pronounce it money like moolah, baby, or Imani like Imani. You know what I mean? Because it's spelled but money. So just let me know. But however you want me to say it, I got your back, bro. I appreciate you. I appreciate you.
Bro, like there's a few passes that like stick out of my mind right now. Dude, the Pickens, the back short on, then he went right back to it again, but Pickens was just out of bounds. Yeah. He had another one on the other sideline. I think it was in that final drive. The one to Connor Hayward over the middle of the field.
That was filthy.
And then the touchdown to Pickens was an absolute dime, too. People are saying, like, that's wide open. Dude, he's got to arc that over to defenders.
And who cares if it was open? He had to identify to make the throw. Shoot, I like the throw that he made to Connor in the end zone. I just say take it off a little bit because of who you're throwing to. The one that went
he threw it high.
It went through his hands, bro.
Yeah.
If it's Pickens catches that. Connor, you got to take a little off of that. That's all I would just say. Like, but nah, man. But I feel like if people were still on the arm strength train after what we've been seeing down the stretch from him, I just looked at it as they were just going to continue to just be negative people towards Kenny. Like they already had their mind made up. Kind of what we talked about at the beginning of the season. It was like certain people, if you got your mind made up, you weren't going to be open to anything other than what their thought process was. And I think a lot of people had made up their mind before the bye week on Kenny that he can't throw deep and that he's going to turn the ball over. And they weren't going to come off of that stance. So even though we kept talking context, like, yo, just allow it to play out, and we finally started to see it and show it on numerous occasions now, I just think that people were still just caught up because they already had their mind made up. But it's like, bro, he's already shown that he can make them throw. He already, like, bro, think about, man, I think of the, what was that? Vegas. The Raiders game. I think about those he was making in that game. I'm like, bro, that's arm strength. Like,
when it's 0 degrees and a negative
like,
20 wind chill.
If you could throw that like that, then I'm not tripping when it's 40 out there. Like, come on.
But it's just funny because he proved he could obviously throw the deep ball in his first couple games. Like the Bills game, he was doing it. And then the Jets game, the first time he was in, first action, he came out slinging. That was the thing that people were complaining about Mitch with a little bit.
Yeah, but he going to throw that thing up there.
Yeah, Kenny, first thing. Like, first pass. I mean, it was a pick because it hit Claypool's hands. He's falling away and everything. But obviously, he could do that. It's just, as time went on, it felt like, in my opinion, I don't know if you'd agree too, it was just more about winning and focused on hitting wide open receivers. It didn't have to be a deep ball every time.
True Classic Tees. Let's go. Y'all know the homies True Classic Tees, man. The shirt that is built for us, those guys that are kind of athletic, but maybe not all the way athletic, or the guys that, just need something to make them feel a little bit more athletic, baby. That's what you get when you talk about True Classic
Or
Tees.
Just straight up comfortable tees.
Absolutely comfortable tees. I mean, because that's the thing with this, man. It is built to feel like you're just lounging around, but at the same time, have that athletic cut up top where most of us feel a little bit better, but at the same time, get a little bit more playroom in that mid section. But with True Classic Tees, they have more than just t-shirts. I mean, they got the long sleeves, they got the sweatpants, the joggers, the shorts, hoodies, all type of different loungewear stuff that just make you feel good, make you feel comfortable. And that's how it's supposed to be, because you got to look good and you got to feel good, more importantly. But of course, if we're talking about them, we got a promo code. And that promo code is MOATS. Use that at trueclassictees.com. You get 25% off of your purchase, and it's free shipping if you have a purchase for over $100 as well. So make sure you check out True Classic Tees, because at the end of the day, we got to know it's a new year. So when it's a new year, it's a new me, and you know I got the new tee. Shout out to the homies at True Classic Tees for that as well, baby.